Hey guys, ZackstaDaxta here, been a while. So I try to keep from freaking out usually, but it's hard to do that with Shingeki no Kyojin. For such a bleak premise, the show can really fucking turn my motor on when it wants to and get me excited and jumping out of my seat. I mean, it's literally physically difficult for me to compose myself for this anime. If you know any people who aren't closed-minded, I recommend showing this to them if you have the means to. So let's see here, so much stuff to get through. After the opening, it starts off with a slight retreading of the stuff that happened last episode with Mikasa entrusting Armin's life to her. And I mean, if you were extremely picky, I guess you could say, oh, this is cutting into airtime. But instead, I found it to set the atmosphere nicely. It's a good jumping off point into the episode. Armin doesn't want more of his friends to get killed, so he formulates a risky plan to use the traitorous Titan to attack other Titans. It's a good plan, but like Gus said back in Breaking Bad to never trust a druggie, you should never trust a Titan. That said, Armin sure does put his analytical ability to good use here. This is a good character moment for him in this series. Baldy acts as the foil for his plan, representing common human reason. If I were in their shoes, I wouldn't accept the plan immediately, like Mikasa, but I think I'd eventually come around. Okay, so the music in this episode is really stellar, and this is the point where it starts hammering your ears with awesome. Once everyone accepts the plan, this weird tune plays in the background that kind of emphasizes just how off the wall, to a normal person at least, this plan seems. And that particular piece of music also seems to echo their desperation. We cut to a wall of silence with John wondering if he's cut out to be a leader, as the scene contrasts with the semi-hopeful scene we had before. On Jean's cue and the cue of incredibly badass music, everyone takes the calm interlude as a chance to sprint to headquarters. They always have to worry about their gas running out, which adds to both realism and tension. The chase begins as Mikasa cuts through a Titan like paper while the Yi of Little Faith Connie carries Armin. Even in an incredibly close vicinity, the raging long-haired Titan still only cares about bashing in the heads of his own kind. Jean, of course, has his doubts again. Like a human, his doubts are reoccurring, and he finds the missing supply squad under a table after everyone crashes through windows. And I don't mean our real-world Windows company, even though they've been coming out with crap lately, so they're sure to have an angry mob crash through their windows. But anyway, he gives them a stern scolding before being quickly interrupted by reality. This series is such a roller coaster. Just a few minutes before, something can be hopeful, then just a little after, everyone can be pissing their pants as they accept the cruel reality of their lives. I've seen a lot of crapsack worlds before in fiction, but you gotta admit, Shingeki no Kyojin would be the last fictional world you would ever want to go to. Sure, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could replace Titans with the natural disasters of our world and say that our world is not quite so different from theirs, but the worry about that isn't nearly on the level of worrying about Titans coming crashing into your house at any moment and eating you. Jean experiences that similar frozen in fear state that was seen in episode 1, and just as he's about to give up all hope, a fist comes ramming into the cheeks of the Titans in front of him. This part is so cool. Just the way you hear that booming sound in the background as everything is in slow-mo. This is slow motion used well and to a great effect, not randomly appearing for absolutely no reason like what happens in a lot of action movies. Armin's plan is successful as everyone gathers together. Once everyone's inside, Connie gets asked a suspicious question from Rainer. Logically, there's some military supplies nearby and everyone grabs a gun. I'd be suspicious myself about using guns against Titans, but in an incredibly close range, they'll have some effect as long as they're aimed at some vital spot. Yet another great piece of music plays as Armin formulates his master plan. Everyone follows along as Mikasa tries to instill some faith in him. You saw how your previous plan worked, dude. You should be a little more confident in your plans at the very least. It's just really planted in his brain that he's a weakling. Which works for this type of show. If you want the audience to feel more helpless, you need to have some characters that are doubting what they're doing. Can't have them all be ever-confident heroes. I hope we never have to see this, but it's suggested that a Titan's bum is another weak spot of theirs. There's about a 99% chance this is a joke, though. As everyone's lowered into the Titan-infested room, which with the dead silence and footsteps is effectively terrifying, a Titan gets way too close for comfort. They have to be incredibly close for the guns to have any effect. Everyone slashes their Titans in an awesome moment except Potato Girl, presumably because she hasn't eaten enough potatoes to be at full strength. I love this character. She even apologizes after cutting a sadistic man-eating giant. We find out that Connie's into spanking girls, and everyone gets a fresh supply of gas for their tanks. Awesome. I'm enjoying the trend of relatively normal strength people being put in leading positions, though honestly the guy Jean is talking to has always seemed oddly insistent that Jean be the leader. So you can form a theory that Titans eating other Titans causes wounds that don't regenerate, because they're trying to eat the 15-meter Titan. Even with no arms, this thing takes out another Titan. A twist and a touching moment happens simultaneously as an Eren-like being emerges out of the Titan, and Mikasa is reunited and cries to the top of her lungs, "I wish Mikasa would cry for me." Eren's back and alive, although unconscious for the moment. How did he get inside the Titan? Will he awaken? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z, Shingeki no Kyojin! So guys, did you think Eren was actually dead a few episodes ago? I'm sure there were a decent amount of people who thought he was actually dead and were wondering how the story would even function without him. Now, the rating I'm gonna give this episode took me a while to think about. I don't want to give S's out like candy, but I normally give A's to Hunter x Hunter, and it deserves them, because that's one of the best anime currently on TV. And well, the animation and execution of this anime is just multiple steps further, so it really does deserve the grades I'm giving it. I give Shingeki no Kyojin Episode 8 another S+, because it was so packed with diverse moments and gave me an unholy amount of chills and wet my eyes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. I'm just about to review Hunter x Hunter in literally like an hour.